There are moments in life when faith feels heavy, moments when prayers rise from your heart, yet the sky feels silent. Moments when you believe in God, but everything around you seems to be falling apart. Hard times test faith in ways comfort never can. Anyone can believe when doors are open, when answers come quickly, when life makes sense. But real faith is revealed in the waiting, in the darkness, in the silence. If you are listening right now and you feel tired, confused, or forgotten, hear this clearly. God's silence is not God's absence. There have always been servants of God who cried out and heard nothing for a while. Men and women who obeyed Him, trusted Him, walked with Him, and still faced seasons of pain, loss, and delay. Not because God left them, but because God was shaping them. Faith that survives hard times is not loud. It doesn't shout. It whispers, "I will still trust you," even when the heart is breaking. Sometimes God allows the storm not to destroy you, but to deepen you. Because shallow faith cannot carry deep blessings. There was a servant of God who waited years for a promise that seemed impossible. Every passing season made the promise look more unrealistic. Yet behind the scenes, God was aligning events, people, and timing in ways the human eye could not see. What felt like delay was actually preparation. Hard times are not wasted in God's hands. Every tear matters. Every unanswered prayer is heard. Every moment of obedience in pain is recorded. You may feel like heaven is quiet right now, but silence does not mean inactivity. Just because you don't hear God speaking doesn't mean He has stopped working. Think about the moments when God did His greatest work quietly. Creation did not come with noise. Seeds grow underground where no one can see them. Breakthrough often begins in places hidden from human eyes. Faith during hard times means choosing to trust God's heart when you cannot trace His hand. It means waking up and saying, "God, I don't understand this season, but I still believe you are good." It means obeying even when obedience hurts. It means praying even when emotions are numb. Some of the strongest believers were not strong because life was easy. They were strong because they learned to lean on God when life was unbearable. There was a moment when a servant of God stood facing an impossible situation. No way forward, no visible help, fear all around. But God made a way where there was none. Not early, not late. Exactly on time. God's timing is rarely comfortable, but it is always perfect. Hard times expose what we truly trust. When everything else is stripped away, faith becomes a lifeline, not a choice. If God removed the pain instantly, you might miss the growth that only pain can produce. If He answered every prayer immediately, you might never learn patience. If life was always smooth, trust would never mature. Faith that survives hard times is built in the waiting. Waiting teaches humility. Waiting teaches surrender. Waiting teaches us that God is not controlled by our deadlines. There are prayers you prayed years ago that God has not forgotten. There are promises He spoke that time cannot erase. There are doors He closed not to punish you, but to protect you. Sometimes God says not now because now would break you. Sometimes He delays because the blessing needs to be bigger than your current capacity. When you feel weak, remember this. God's strength is most visible when human strength runs out. There were servants of God who felt afraid, uncertain, and overwhelmed. Yet God did not reject them for their weakness. He met them in it. Faith does not mean you never feel fear. Faith means you refuse to let fear have the final word. You may be walking through a valley right now, but valleys are not destinations. They are pathways. The same God who allowed the valley also prepared the exit. Do not measure God's faithfulness by one difficult chapter. Your story is still being written. There were moments in Scripture when it looked like evil had won, when hope seemed buried, when the stone was sealed and the future felt dead. But early in the morning, God moved. Not loudly, not dramatically, but powerfully. Even when Jesus walked among suffering people, many did not recognize what God was doing until later. God often works in ways that only make sense in hindsight. If you could see the full picture, you would understand why the wait was necessary. Faith that survives hard times learns to say, even if I don't see it yet, I know God is faithful. This is the kind of faith that Biblic exists to remind hearts about. Not shallow belief, but deep-rooted trust. Your pain is not proof that God has abandoned you. It is often proof that He is refining you. Gold is not refined in comfort. It is refined in fire. And just like gold, your faith is becoming more valuable through pressure. Hold on, not because life is easy, but because God is faithful. Hold on when prayers feel unanswered. Hold on when doors close. Hold on when strength is low. You are not forgotten. You are not unseen. You are not alone. God is closer than you think, working quieter than you expect, preparing more than you realize. One day, you will look back at this season and see God's fingerprints all over it. What felt like silence will reveal itself as strategy. What felt like delay will reveal itself as protection. Until that day, keep trusting, keep praying, keep believing. Faith that survives hard times is not built overnight. It is built one surrendered day at a time. And if all you can do today is whisper, God, I still trust you, that is enough. God honors honest faith. God honors endurance. God honors hearts that refuse to give up. This season will not last forever, but the faith you are building will. So take a deep breath. Lift your eyes again. Place your hope not in circumstances, but in God. He is still on the throne. He is still in control. He is still faithful. Trust Him, even here, especially here. Your faith will survive this.